Here we go again. I know, you might be tired of me only making videos about the Iolei, even if it's plenty of other factions I could use in Divided Impera, and the thing is that most of those factions have lots of wonderful units with a lot of variation between them. But do I care? The Iolei are just so much fun. In the first place, they are truly scary. They are basically a bunch of farmer warriors who fight in a leather dress as, well, everyone during the Grammys. And, if you aren't scared yet, they also have fancy helmets. And they don't even bother forging a sword. They just punch the enemy to death with a knuckle duster. Come on. They lost like 5,000 of years of technological development in war making, which makes them even more underdeveloped of the men during the Stone Age or than the modern fascists. Other than that, though, they have some interesting features, as the fact that they can guerrilla deploy, and also the fact that they can hide, well, everywhere, even where it's so ridiculous. But they can do that, because they're rude. As the underdeveloped people as they are, their morale is very low and their armors are poorly made. All it takes to scare them off the field is an opponent wearing pants as the ones worn by the Belge young swordman. Now, you're probably wondering, why are the Iolei and the Nervii fighting in the desert, right under the pyramids? Well, I can't answer that, but this battle was much fun, because the beginning was rather rough for the Iolei. Why was it rough? I made a bet. I thought he would place his swords in the center, therefore I placed my shock cavalry in the center as well to give a first charge, in order to soften up the enemy units before my swords charged them. Then, when the battle started, I made a bad choice. At first, I could only see his archers, so I charged them, without thinking that he could have hidden units. He did. He had hidden units, and besides, they were spearmen. As I realized that, I only had time to disengage 2 of my units of cavalry, while the other 2 crashed into the spears. On top of that, the Nervii player quickly reacted by shooting the last shot cavalry and charged them with his medium cavalry, breaking 2 of my poor peasants' knights. The formidable Belge cavalry simply demolished my shock cavalry. Together with their spears and their archers, they have been deadly. Even though my swords were about to go help the cavalry, they still had little hope. Damn it, they fought for something like 30 seconds before fleeing the battlefields. Oh my god, the archers just wrecked us, half of the unit of cav. And also this other unit of cavalry is fleeing. I felt desperate and helpless. With half of my cavalry gone and the other half shattered, it was time for me to move my neuralgic runners on the right and help them with the cavalry. He moves his scary pajama boys to hold that flank, and his cavalry too. As the infantry clashes, I use the gap between the right flank and the center to break his units with my cavalry. But they, surprisingly, hold. Fucking pajama guys. And also, he moves back his cavalry. Now, his cavalry was my main concern. In the last video, we saw how good and effective the Belgian cavalry can be, and I know my cavalry stood no chance against his in a fair 1v1 combat. I needed to play dirty against these mighty knights. I moved my skirmishers from the center to shoot his cavalry right before I charged them with my own cavalry. In that first charge, we both lose one cavalry unit. So, I need to use my general and his ability to break the morale of his last unit right before more enemy cavalry approached. As my general break the morale of his last cavalry unit, he wisely runs back the cav unit he was sending as a backup for the cav engagement. I keep on chasing that cavalry. I needed to break that cavalry unit too, but he successfully runs. With a lot of his cavalry forever gone, I had a chance, but I needed to clean the right flank quickly. In the center, the situation was getting spicy for the Nervii. They were fighting my expensive swords, and at the same time, they were getting showered by my javelin men. All things considered though, these spearmen held for a very long time. Also considering that I exhausted most of my ammos on them, and that I also charged my very good at melee skirmishers against the spears. As my cavalry was fighting the good fight on the right flank, the left flank was left open and was beginning to feel the negative effects of losing the cavalry so early in the game. Eventually, I break the enemy units in the center, and I keep on chasing his archers. It's very important to keep on chasing his archers for me, because my army, as I said, is mostly lightly armored. I have to keep those archers away from the main force. Now, the Belgian cavalry is charging the left flank. These spears, they just don't have a hope against both the cavalry and the pajama guys. Also, his general proves to be a real Chad. Like, the chaddest Chad the world has ever seen. And I was hating him because it was really a pain in my butt for the rest of the game. He successfully regroups on the left flank, and also is able to save his archers and his cavalry. This is bad for me. This is very, very bad for me, because the right flank is still not cleaned, and his archers are destroying my Neragic runners that are basically naked boys. Also, I thought I could easily break his general. Instead, the fucking general fight as a real Chad for the entire game and butcher most of my army alone. His archers were they were just a real concern for me at this point, because they were the main threat to my entire army. They could break the morale of my units by giving them the under fire penalty, and they could kill a lot of these naked guys that were, and they were almost fresh when they were attacking the general. This is him. And yeah, the units are breaking. Oh, here I successfully break one of the units, but then he charges my skirmishers with his cavalry. And for some reason, I thought my general could handle both of the enemy cavalry units. And at the same time, one unit of the pajama boys breaks my spears, or my swords, whatever. And my general remained caught between the swords, the cavalry, and also his archers that are also spearmen. So I charge with my cavalry these pajama boys again. This cavalry is very depleted. Their charge is not really the best, but whatever. I really started to freak out. My general do what he was supposed to do and actually break one of the cavalry enemy's cavalry unit. But at this point I was really freaking out. My units were almost all depleted and wavering, and I just rushed everything inside. Meanwhile, his general is I hate him. It's just, oh, motherfucker, look at him. Just fighting without losing a single man. Just butchering my army. Oh, one is dead. Ha! Die, you scum. Huh. Yeah, this general is proving himself to be a fierce warrior. At least his units, it's made of fierce warriors. I have no idea where he is. Oh my god, the head. Oh, come on, just chopped his head. Finally, I'm able to retreat my general and save him, thanks to these two depleted swords that are coming. Actually, those swords are going to break very, very soon. But it's so good. As long as my general is safe, it's so good. His general instead is still alive. Now my general, it's going to probably charge that sword unit to prevent them, to attack the rear of my 4 swords. Yep, there he goes with a beautiful charge. Not a beautiful charge, just a charge. It doesn't even break the morale of the unit. Fucking pajama boys, never breaking. While my army is now completely broken, and the balance of power is shifting every second more in favor of the enemy. No, actually, it's now back in my favor. His general keep on destroying everything, just a Chad. Oh, his cavalry, I think it charged my my infantry there. I have one more infantry. I think they came back from routing. Probably his cavalry is going to break right now. But it doesn't seem like there's a lot on the field. Like I don't have anything else, but he has something that can come back from routing. Oh, I'm gonna catch his cavalry right now, probably off guard, and that cavalry is most probably going to break. This was lucky. My general should be able. Yep. There he goes. Yeah, too late. He uses the effects, but it's just too late. One more sword is about to break, and now it's just the enemy general. This is why, like, in this moment I was feeling like, okay, this is mine, I can win this. And then more units were coming back. This cavalry was coming back, and I was concerned about this cavalry again, which is a shame. I love the cavalry. I just love the cavalry going around. Look at the bodies, the carnage. Oh, they're going in for a charge into the bushes. What are they charging? No, they're not charging anymore. Are they charging? Are they not? Yeah, these units. These units. No, that unit just broke, I guess. I love the cavalry. It's so wonderful. Oh, I think my general did something, or maybe not. Maybe it was his general. I'm gonna run, but the Belgian cavalry is now able to break the morale of my skirmishers, and now the balance of power is totally in favor of the enemy, and I was like, oh, come on. General is going for a charge on this cavalry, and he should be able to break their morale. And yep, there he goes. But like, I felt like this was going to be a defeat for me. Was about to be a defeat for me because like he still had his archer spearman, his general, and another sword unit. I only had my general. Nobody could come back from routing, and my general, I think, was also tired. Look at the carnage! Oh, the alone knight. The lonely night going in the desert among the bodies. A general is going to charge these archers. I don't think he realized this archer unit came back. And oh my god, a devastating charge on the rear. Okay, let's fast forward a little bit because it took me like 10 minutes to decide whether or not to attack and how to attack. So yeah, I better fast forward this part. And let's see. Oh yeah, I was going around. I guess for a certain. I mean, for the most part, I was just walking here. I'm going. No, I'm not going for a charge because I think here I realized I wanted but my best opportunity was to have my abilities, and then scare them off the field instead of just trying to kill all of these units. Also, he still had his archers, and his archers are also spearmen, so I was very, very worried about that. And I was trying to avoid a frontal charge into the archers at any cost. He played very, very cleverly. He repositioned his archers successfully, but let's see if this will be enough. Probably use the abilities here, even though yeah, I think I used the abilities, and this should be enough to break both of the units he had. So now it's just a 1v1 between my general and his general, and I was still very concerned because his unit was still wealthy, out of my point of view, and my general is not really such a chad as his general is. So yeah, all right. So I guess I'll wait for a little bit more before doing another charge. This is because I wanted back my abilities. I just wanted to scare the general off the field, because if my cavalry gets stuck in melee, I would probably lose the fight. So my idea is still take this battle for the morale penalties. Now I didn't want it to do a straightforward charge. So I tried to take him at a angle, so he have to reposition, and my idea was to try to attack him while he was repositioning, but I do not succeed this time. In fact, I think I take even more casualties than he do, especially when I am disengaging. My units should lose way more men than he did. So I really didn't think that I would take this battle at this point, especially after this charge. So I decided to wait a little bit more before going in for the last charge. Once more, everything will be decided between two remaining units. The last time were one, Royal Guard unit and a group of peasants. Right now is two generals. My general goes in for the last charge, maybe the last one of his life. Eventually, the stubbornness of my general broke the chattest general the world has ever seen. This battle was much fun from the very beginning to the end. At the beginning was, very fast paced. At the end was very slow paced. But nevertheless, it was much fun. Thanks to you for watching the video, and see you in the next one. Cheers.